Ethereum has now entered an exponential trend. This is now confirmed with a break above the 2021 highs into new multi-year highs, hitting 4,500 today. And Bitcoin continues to consolidate right around the $120,000 level, inching closer and closer to new all-time highs. The total crypto market cap reached a new all-time high yesterday. The S&P 500, the US stock market, hit another all-time high today. This is very, very good for crypto. Usually the most bullish moments in crypto history take place alongside a trending S&P, and that's what we have right now. Also, the most bullish moments in crypto history have taken place as Bitcoin dominance begins to plunge. And that is also what we're seeing right now. Ethereum is on its way up. Altcoins are starting to rebound once again. This is the stage where Bitcoin dominance usually plummets, has a major plunge to a much lower level. Contrary to what you may think or what you may have been observing in the market, Bitcoin dominance is actually in a macro downtrend in the very long term. With the rise of stablecoins and Ethereum being at the epicenter of that narrative, very likely that Bitcoin dominance will continue its macro downtrend over the long term. And that is what we're now seeing for Ethereum on the daily chart. We are going parabolic and we are breaking into multi-year highs. So the opportunity with altcoins is definitely there. It's starting to pick up. It's starting to heat up. And if you guys want to be able to trade any and all altcoins on the market, the BloFin Exchange has just about everything there. They are faster than any other exchange at listing new tokens. I was able to secure 20% cash back for everyone who signs up on that link below. You get 20% cash back on all of your trading fees. This is the best possible deal you can get. One of the most competitive deals out there. If you're an active trader, earning 20% of your fees back is pretty substantial. That could equal thousands upon thousands of dollars. And this is available for you guys, anyone who signs up using that link below, and also anyone who has already signed up using any of my links automatically gets this starting today. And there are also currently deposit bonuses available. Sign up for BloFin using that link below. So now moving back to the charts, Bitcoin has been consolidating, a little bit boring here, attempting to push above 120K, seeing some resistance, although the rest of the market is seeing some pretty outstanding moves, especially Ethereum, 226% since April, reaching 4,500 today, reaching prices from November 2021, which also means it's about 7.5% away from a new all-time high. Now, people, of course, are going to want to know, what is my Ethereum price target? What is my Ethereum price prediction? And we will talk about that. Now, this parabolic trend that Ethereum has now confirmed with a breakout above previous highs is taking place below its all-time high, which means that the current parabolic structure is probably most likely the very beginning or sort of the halfway point for Ethereum's trend for the cycle. And the reason why I'm saying that is if you look at the very beginning stage of Bitcoin's long-term parabola, there was actually a point in time where Bitcoin had its sub all-time high parabolic trend, which ended up breaking down before it became a larger trend. And this is very common within parabolic trends, is that they usually don't just stick to one trend line. Bitcoin actually has already played out multiple parabolic trend breakdowns along the way. But I just wanted to show you how parabolas are usually a multi-stage process that expand and become larger. And Ethereum here on the daily is entering its first stage. And it's very likely, looking at the weekly chart, that at some point, Ethereum's parabola will probably expand and become larger in scale. This current parabola line is not sustainable because the trajectory eventually goes towards vertical and the price has to exit at some point, and then it becomes larger, just like how Bitcoin's became larger. Now, I do think that Ethereum's parabola will play out much faster than this sort of really long-term parabola that Bitcoin has played out. Ethereum's is going to be quicker. Each base is going to be shorter. It's going to be more rapid to the upside. That is usually how it goes for Ethereum in these cycles. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be asking, what is my cycle peak prediction or my sort of general target for Ethereum? And I mapped it out on the chart here. If you look at the past cycle, fibbing from the previous 2017 to 2018 cycle, in 2021, we reached the 1414 fib from high to low on log scale, the 1414 fib was the peak price target. And if you do that again from that high of 4,800 down to the cycle low, you'll see that the target is just around 10,000. And you can see what I have is that the 1272, which is one fib target below the previous cycle's target, is the likely target. That is very likely to appear. Obviously, the lower the target, the more likely it is to show up. The lower the target, the more likely it is that you'll actually be able to sell at that price, right? And so that is 7.7K at the 1272. The ideal target would be the same fib target as the previous cycle, which is 9,883. The 1414 fib, just like 2021, just under $10,000. And the less likely target would be the 1618, the fib target, the higher fib target, which we did not reach in the previous cycle, the 1618. That is sitting at around 14,000. It's less likely. That is not unrealistic whatsoever. And if things get really bullish, if we start to see the Ethereum narrative pick up and the stablecoin narrative pick up, and we're seeing Wall Street adopting Ethereum for that reason, and we're seeing banks adopt Ethereum for that reason, well, maybe we actually go to 14,000 or higher, depending on how this all plays out, depending on how fast we actually go up. Because the one thing about every cycle that never changes is the amount of time that it takes, right? The time is more important than the price. There's always a specific amount of time. And to explain what I mean further, if you look at past cycles, Ethereum, about 80 weeks after the halving, 80 weeks after, it's the top and a huge bear market begins. The next cycle after that, 80 weeks after the 2020 halving, it's the top and a huge bear market begins. And this also goes for the Bitcoin cycle. Really what it is it's following global liquidity, 7.7K, 10K, 14K. These are all within the realm of possibility this cycle. 14K is marked as less likely because it's the highest possible target according to my analysis, but it's also not impossible. It's just less likely. So I want to make sure people understand that less likely does not mean impossible. Some people might find this target to be exciting. Some people might be disappointed that I'm not saying 20 or something. But, every cycle people get too bullish and their price targets get raised too high and then they don't sell. And so that is what we should be avoiding in this cycle is unrealistic expectations. And so that is the Ethereum chart. That is the Ethereum idea. That's the Ethereum analysis, the Ethereum prediction. And for Bitcoin, we're looking at, 142,000, 150,000 as the general target zone. Again, some people probably think that that's not bullish enough. Some people probably think that we're going to get there in an instant. But I remember when we were heading up to 100K, a lot of people told me, Kev, 142, that's not even that far away. Are you going to raise your target? But they forgot, as usual, that the market does tend to go sideways for a lot longer than you expect. Most of the time, the market is going sideways majority of the time. It's going sideways. So, it depends on how fast we get there. The 80th week is coming up in a few months here. 142 to 150,000 seems to be sort of in line with the current trajectory to me. I mean, it seems realistic to me. Maybe we bounce, maybe we linger up here going into the Q1, Q2. We put in the high towards the end of the year, but then we linger up at these levels, sort of sucker in latecomers a little bit more, exit liquidity. Slow distribution at a higher level is ideal for larger players, and that's what I expect. And now with Bitcoin at an all-time high, Ethereum racing towards the all-time high, I think that others, low-cap altcoins, are also ready to play out a major move here. At the very least, 550 billion for the others chart, the low-cap index, 550 billion. And if things go really well, maybe upwards of $1 trillion this cycle for the others low cap altcoin index. Low cap altcoins usually have their best performance as Bitcoin and Ethereum are trending into new all-time highs, which is currently what we're getting. We have the S&P trending to new all-time highs, Bitcoin trending to new all-time highs, Ethereum very close to trending to new all-time highs. So I don't see any reason why the low caps wouldn't start following. You have to remember it took Ethereum quite a while to follow Bitcoin. So it makes sense that the alts, the low caps, are lagging as well. They will follow Ethereum once it starts to pick up, once it starts to break the all-time high. As of right now, the main target is 550 billion. And if things go really well, maybe $1 trillion. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully we get the rate cuts in September and things start to get really bullish going into the end of year, which is exactly what this model suggests, is that going into the 80th week zone, things are the most bullish. And it seems like now with the rate cuts, very likely CPI, the CPI print coming in better than expected, it seems likely that we'll probably get some major moves. And also reminder, 20% cash back on all your trading fees. Every day that you trade, you get that money back in your account every day. 20% cash back on all your fees. Signing up for BloFin Exchange, using that link below, my preferred exchange. We now have the best offer available for you guys, for the viewers of this channel. Sign up for BloFin today. And if you guys want to join my Patreon, I will open up a few more slots. You can get access to my Discord. This is a Discord focused community, so the only way to get access to my Discord is by joining Patreon. You can talk to me directly on a live voice chat where I share my screen every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm doing morning voice chats, at least morning here in the US, and you can talk to me directly, ask me questions directly, become a part of the community, and I'll see you guys in the next video.